All right, so we're going to talk about the the tariffs on imported goods. So I like what these videos on CNN. They really do a good job in trying to explain what's going on with a twist of fiction in it too. So let's watch this quick clip. 1 minute 48 seconds.
People are freaking out about a trade war with China. But why? Well, the US imports more products from China than any other country in the world. $505 billion worth of goods in 2017, while only sending $130 billion worth of products to China. This creates a gap of $375 billion, a large part of the trade deficit with China. In the time I've been talking, did you notice all the products in the room that are made in China have disappeared? Now, a trade war with China doesn't mean we'd stop importing these Chinese goods, but it does go to show just how much we depend on them. Let's rewind in case you missed it. For example, this TV. The US imports $146 billion worth of electrical machinery and equipment, the most of anything we import from China. This includes remotes, laptops, and cell phones. Also, sneakers. We import $1.4 billion worth a year. And these umbrellas. The US imported $113 million worth in 2017. And China happens to be the world's largest supplier of umbrellas. And the list goes on. One thing we export a lot of is playing cards. But the cardstock we print on is from, you guessed it, China. There's no tariff, but we still spent $120 million importing cardstock last year. So while these products aren't going anywhere, they could have some steep tariffs on them, which means our lives could get a little more expensive.
What happens in a trade war? Sometimes all it can take is one single tariff to start a trade war. When a government imposes a new tariff, other countries sometimes tend to raise their tariffs in retaliation. That can lead to further tariffs, which can lead to further tariffs, and well, you get the idea. But let's just talk about one tariff, the chicken tariff. In the 1960s, the Europeans were being inundated with cheap American chickens. Demand for that cheaper chicken skyrocketed, and so Europe, in order to protect their chicken farms, placed a tariff on the American chickens. One thing is certain though, trade wars bring unintended consequences. So it all started with the Europeans.
All right, so here's definite definition. The amount by which something, especially a sum of money, is too small. That's weird. And express an excess of expenditure or liabilities over income or assets in a given period. The amount or score by which a team or individual is losing. Alright, so try to understand that. That's pretty interesting. So basically, shortfall, shortage, debt, arrears, and excess of expenditure or liabilities over income or assets. So expenditure or liabilities. So is this cash, these billions? I mean, do you owe it to somebody? And how do you sell a product where you don't get your money right up front? Who wants to do that? A bank, maybe, loans. But generally, you want to buy anything, you're not buying it because you're poor, you're buying it because you have the money. So if you have the money, then why do you need to owe them? Or just like some rich game where you never really want to spend your own money, you use somebody else's money. So if that's a deficit, it's a deficit to who? Me? You? Or some company that was doing business with them that got the products fronted to them. For some weird reason, they convinced them like, hey, listen, you give me your products, right? I'm going to owe you. But I'm going to owe you a lot of money. So just to give you the heads up, you're not going to really make too much money off this. That doesn't make any sense. So they did a good job in these videos. Got big numbers out here, 50 billion worth of Chinese products and da 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 da. Yeah, but you know what? I bet you who owes those billions of dollars are the ones that moved all manufacturing and products to be produced in China. So now they, like, think about it. It just sounds really ridiculously stupid. Like, okay, so we're like, what, supposed to feel sorry for these guys because they owe all this money and now all of a sudden it's our deficit? So which one is it? Trade deficit says who? Are you in trade? Am I in trade? No, we're not in trade. We don't see numbers like that. Yeah, I got a couple shipyards down the street. I'm just gonna send some stuff over to Ireland or England real quick, and I'm not gonna come back with money though. I'm not gonna come back with money. They're gonna owe. I'm gonna owe them. No, I'm not gonna go with money. I'm gonna owe them. So I'm gonna travel on the ocean to get the products, come back, and we just make all this money. I don't know. That doesn't seem right. So, I'm in favor of what's going on, but not like that means anything. But President Trump ratcheted up trade war rhetoric with China.
What happens in a
Again, this is all staged. This is acting right here. You're reading a script. It's a story. Who the hell knows what's going on? We're not there. We're not privy to it. We never will be. There will be some dude standing out there saying, hey, you know what? This is what happened. We have no idea what's happened. And then years later it'll come out. When they said that this happened, it didn't really happen. And then you just gotta laugh like, oh man. You can see how it can be continued on for years. How to play this game of who can talk trash and who. You're basically setting the stage for investors. But they were down 200 points after Trump's announcement. So just by him saying that, think about that. Just by him saying that, stocks, Dow futures went down 200 points. Boom, just like that. That is crazy. That's why we get into this system gets into so much trouble, because this is just really a piece to send certain stocks one way, put fear in another. This is negotiations right here. That's what I see. Negotiations, all done by saying, "Hey, I'm gonna, do $100 billion tariff on you right now, like 24 hours." So, of course, stocks are gonna fall. China's stealing intellectual property. Well, this is where Trump's right. Trump's basically saying, dude, you're sending all your shit over there, and they're ripping you off. So you send them a couple new screen TVs, they are able to duplicate it, replicate it, and have it pumping out in very, very short. Dude, they build entire cities where nobody live. I mean, who does that? Imagine building a whole city from scratch and nobody lives there. And they got a whole bunch of them. So they got a lot of manpower over there. And that whole one baby thing, well, there's a lot of dudes because they didn't want the girls, they wanted the boys for money. So now they're up there in manpower. Okay, let's see here. So this is tit for tat. Washington and Beijing. So these guys are making the decisions, and they put this stuff out so that stocks can fall. Did he do anything? No. Nothing. No action was done. He didn't hit him with 100. And look, it says it threatens. Just by threatening, he's able to, or any president really, is able to crash stocks. Now, if you are in the know and say this article was coming out, right, and you're the president of the United States, you can sell this information right here, that tagline, and be like, okay, which stocks are going to fall if I say this? How much will it fall? Well, when it falls, doesn't that mean you come in and you buy it at a lower price? And then China is back in. They're not stealing intellectual property. And guess what? Just think about it, man. They're all set, man. Now we trust them. Matter of fact, we're going to go over there. hang out, take shots off some belly dancers or something, whatever, and that's it. We're back in business. Stocks rise 4,000 points. Bam, you just made out with like $1 zillion. No one's the wiser, and if they are, they're in on it, and it goes all the way to the highest levels of government and military power. That's it, and corporations. That's all part of the government now. That's what they say. But makes sense to me. Trade war. In any war, there is someone that makes out. Someone's going to make money in a war. Whether it be trade, physical, someone is making a dollar on something. So with the trade war going on, they also did a video on CNN about what is a trade war, and I think that's a really good explanation. But the end of the video, I disagreed with the last line, which said, but we won't see that for the trade war that's going to happen now, we won't see the effects of it until 50 years later. Like, what? Well, if it takes 50 years for it to affect me personally, that doesn't even make any sense, because I think prices are going to go up. There are going to be certain products that are not coming in, that are not going out, and there's going to be a surplus, and there's going to be a deficit in certain products. I mean, come on. Walmart is the first lobbyist up there, like, listen, everything we have comes from China. Think about it. If we do a trade war with China, Walmart closes down, Target's going to close down, all those giant superstores that stock all Chinese goods. Think about it. That's a lot of products. It's a lot of Walmarts. The largest corporation, larger than 10 of the biggest corporations put together. That Walmart is the powerhouse of the world right now. And all their stuff comes from China. So who are they really talking about? I think it's, I hope I explained that correctly. China, this war isn't going to happen. And they have to decide that ahead of time. Like, you do some threats, raises points, so now that's their way of actually doing physical action. So they got a response on the market for 100 points, 200 points lower. That means you can now go in and buy it 200 points lower right now, the futures. And then Trump is a businessman, so he's got people crunching these numbers, not only for the presidency and for the American people, if you believe that, but he's going to make some money too, and he's going to do it legally. He's going to do it legally. Like, wow. And he made a good decision. Now he's going to get presidential treatment for the rest of his life. It's like his ultimate retirement. Why wouldn't he do it? It's like, so I get Secret Service for the rest of my life? You know how much that would cost me? It costs like $100 million a year just to guard a president. That's when he'll be able to retire and just say, everything's all set for the rest of it. Not only his life, but generations to come. Secret Service. Imagine if he had 10 kids. Each one of them would have to have Secret Service 24/7 for the rest of their lives. Think about that, man. I think it's ingenious. I believe in what he's doing, but when you peel out the pages from this, it just looks like it's a sideshow. They already know who's going to go in, what's going to happen, and everything like that. This is just a middle story. Raise points here and there. This is games, people. This is the common sense side of it. U.S. retailers slammed Trump's announcement, accusing him of playing a game of chicken with nation's economy. No. See how they made that sound? Nation's economy? Really? These are retailers. That means retailers, Walmart. Boom, right there. That's it. Just replace that word for Walmart. Playing a game of chicken with nation's economy. No, he's playing a game, but it's not of chicken. It's chicken, stocks, futures, There's a lot more being played right here.